All right. After weeks and weeks of people asking me, people putting YouTube comments in, people at me on Twitter, DMing me on Twitter. A couple of you found my email, hit me up. Hitting me up in messages on Patreon and all that kind of stuff. I am going to tell you what I think my explanation for the two Buster Swords in Final Fantasy VII Remake are. This will be a companion piece for my larger video coming at the end of this week. Hopefully the end of this week, but maybe even the beginning of next week, because I'm editing this monster together. I don't even know how long it's going to be. I can't even tell you. It's going to be long. It's going to be long. So get you a slice of pizza and get you a drink and pull up a chair when you start that video. It's going to be a piece. It's going to be a piece. But basically, my whole theory about what's going on in Remake, and again, I feel like I have to preface this all the time because people just take it the wrong way, but these are all guesses. Whenever somebody tells you or puts a thumbnail up saying Remake explained, this is all guesses. Everybody's giving their best guess and putting their rod in the pond and seeing what they catch, right? So my theory on what's going on in Remake revolves around the singularity and little clues that Square Enix has literally written for us. Like in the soundtrack, there are these different clues. You know, in the soundtrack there are tracks with words like singularity, One Winged Angel Rebirth, all these other kinds of little clues along the way. Arbiter of Fate, Advent. So all these little things, I've just read what they've given us. Just reading what they give us, basically. And having an idea of how things work with marketing and all that kind of thing. So, the singularity. Let's focus on the singularity for a second. Anything, when Sephiroth tricks them into coming and busting him out of prison, basically, that's what's happening there at the end. Sephiroth brings them into the singularity. Aerith casts something on the singularity, right? We'll talk about that more in the video. That's not what this is about, but she casts something in the singularity as they go in. I feel like it's to protect them from changing while they're in there. I think that's to protect them and make them remain who they are while they're in there, right? Because I think Aerith knows what's about to happen. So, they go into the singularity. The world around them, as they're fighting the different parts of the Arbiter and stuff, they see little pieces of what the future could be, the world that they live in, the existence they live in, basically being erased. When it comes around their brains, they see that clip where that's that item being erased from existence. Could it still happen? Yes. But is it definitely going to happen now? No. It's a possibility that it could still happen. So while this is all happening and they're destroying different parts of the Arbiter, and you know, they're fighting the different incarnations of Yazoo, Laws, and Kadaj, and they're fighting them, destroying them, they're reforming, all that kind of stuff. They're defending Sephiroth's prison. They're trying to keep you from breaking him out of prison. So Cloud has his Buster Sword this whole time. They're in the singularity, right? I'm going to stay on track, right? Because I get to explaining things and I get off track a little bit. So he has his Buster Sword in the singularity. Anything inside of the singularity stays as it is. It's whole. It doesn't change. But the existence outside of that singularity is changing as they fight to disrupt things. Existence is changing. That's why you get the Terrier stamp bag at the end. When they come out of the singularity after everything that happens, Cloud, everybody is unchanged. Completely unchanged to the changes that have happened within the world. They are completely unchanged. Anyone or anything outside of that singularity will have changed in some way. Some more drastic, some barely at all. But changes are going to have happened to those characters and those places and all that kind of stuff. Fort Condor might be completely operational now, because in Yuffie's story, Fort Condor, that game they're playing, is a thing before the singularity event. So when all that's going on, something else is happening too. The planet spared Zack, and the Whispers showed Aerith that before they go into the singularity. like ace in the hole. Hey, look, Sephiroth doesn't know about this. We're going to save Zack. That's why the Whispers were messing with the Shinra troops at the end. They weren't messing with Zack. They were intentionally trying to stop the Shinra troops. Like every time the Whispers tried to stop the party from doing something in the game, they mess with them directly. Whoever they're trying to stop, whoever they're trying to alter, they mess with them directly. That's what they were doing with the Shinra troops there at the end. They weren't doing it to Zack, they were doing it to the Shinra troops. Boom. Planet saves Zack, explained. Okay, explained. In this current existence, linear timeline, Zack saved, explained, moving on. So, when they come out of the singularity, all the events are done. It's an artistic showing that time is different now. When you see Zack and Cloud walking that direction toward Aerith, it's not two timelines overlapping. It's not a literal thing. It's Aerith feeling that change. That 3 months ago, this happened right here. 3 months ago, this happened right here. She's feeling that. That's where they came through. That's where they're leaving. So it's an artistic representation showing what happened there. So, what about the two swords, Ray? Here we go. Cloud in the singularity has his sword. Unchanged. He has it. Zack survives outside of the singularity. His life has changed and everything, but he still has his sword. So, which one is the real Buster Sword? They're both the real Buster Sword. The singularity made it so Cloud keeps his, but Zack still has his. Okay, so what happened to the second Cloud? You know, what's going on with all this stuff? Is there going to be an evil Cloud running around? That's going to be weird. Okay, I feel like Zack stashes Cloud, which I explained in my Zack video yesterday. Zack stashes Cloud. He knows Shinra's on him. He can't take another battle. He knows he won't survive. Him and Cloud will both be taken. He stashes Cloud, and he agrees to go with Shinra, whether it's the Turks or whether it's Hojo. I'm not really sure on that yet. Sang and his people could have hidden Zack, like, because he sends Cisne to save Zack at the end of Crisis Core. So we see that happen, and we could see that happen in Reunion. We could see what happens with that at the end of Reunion, absolutely. But for now, where we don't know, I think that's a possibility. It's also a possibility that Hojo's people reacquire Zack, and he is locked up underneath in one of those caverns or whatever, and he still has his Buster Sword. He keeps it. Now, what happens to Cloud, the stashed Cloud? One of two things, I think. Well, the first one I don't like. Let me explain the first one first. The Back to the Future thing. People just fade away. Things fade away, right? So maybe Cloud fades away, or he ceases to exist or whatever because they both exist in the same timeline now. I don't like that one. But I'm throwing it out there because I've seen a lot of people say that and say they don't like it. I don't like it either. Let me just put that out there. So, but that's a possibility. I don't think that's what they'll do, but that's a possibility. Possibility 2 of 3, there's 3 possibilities. 2, they just don't explain it. They just don't talk about it, and they let the gamer use their imagination on what happened to Cloud, because you're going to have to get from A to B to C to D in this game in the story. So you can't go back and re-explain a lot of things. However, number 3, my explanation. What happens to Cloud, Barret, Tifa, Aerith, all these characters, Red 13, who went into the singularity? Well, just as characters died in Gaia Prime's timeline, Biggs dead, Jesse dead, Zack dead, so many other characters, Gaia changed Gaia has its share of casualties as well. Time kind of fixes, or the world kind of fixes itself in a way, if you know what I mean. So Gaia changed Cloud, Barret, Tifa, Aerith, Red 13, dead. Dead. Dead or were destroyed when they reached the singularity in their time, or in their existence. So I think we're going to see some of, like, people from Zack's time, Zack's changed reality that is meshed with the Gaia Prime. I think the new Gaia existence, there's going to be some things going on where it's like, yeah, I saw you die. Yeah, I saw this happen. Yeah, maybe Tifa did die in that time, in, you know, whatever, like from the point of the change where Zack is saved or whatever. Things have changed, and so things will change in a way that, who knows, maybe dying is Marlene's dad. I hope they don't do that, you know what I mean? But things will have changed. Those characters will be removed from existence by death or by disintegration at the point of the singularity, when they get to that point or whatever. So we shall see. We shall see what they do with that. That's a vague way of doing it. I just think Square's not going to explain it. That's what I think. But there's another explanation, that if he's with Hojo, maybe they just manufacture another Buster Sword for him, because they would know, right? They would know that that was his weapon. I don't like that one either, though, because the whole thing has to be part of Angeal's family line. It's special. He's gonna feel that it's not the right sword or whatever. So there's that. But I really feel like number 3 is the strongest possibility. That, you know, Cloud has his, he came out of the singularity. Zack still has his, he was not in the singularity. Those two things unchanged, right? So that's why you've got 2 Buster Swords in the same timeline. All the way around, the singularity is the answer. That's why there's 2 swords. Tale of 2 Swords. There it is. Explained, as a lot of people would tell you. But no, that's my version of what's happening. We'll see in winter, next winter, whatever that winds up being. I think it's going to be February or March 2024. I think that's when we're getting this game. But we might even find out as soon as February or March 2023 when Crisis Core Reunion drops. So anyway, that's my 2 swords theory. That's what I feel like's going on. Post your comments below. I'm prepared for the roast. I'm prepared for the smoke. I breathe smoke and I dine on fire. So bring all the smoke. It's cool with me. Y'all know how I roll. So anyway, have fun with that. Hopefully it gives you all something to chew on. Hopefully it might even be in line with a lot of what you all were thinking. Maybe it helps you create your own theory. Maybe you can take my theory and expound upon it and improve it, or fine tune it, or think of something I haven't thought of. That's always something fun for me too. So until next time, y'all have a great night. Be safe, be good to each other, and keep rocking. I will see you all in the next video. Take care, guys. I want to say a quick thank you to my YouTube and Patreon members and supporters. If you would like to support the future creation of content on this channel, get some few extra perks and some art sent to your door every month, consider becoming a Patreon or YouTube member. Details and links are in the video description.